This course is entitled Using Challenge-Based Learning with Adults. The goal of this instruction is to provide foundational training for adjunct instructors in educating undergraduate learners. The course is designed for Samford's Professional Studies, which is the Adult Education Program, also known as OPS. The program offers bachelor's degrees that are designed specifically to meet the adult learners. Initially, the course will be required for all current adjunct instructors, and as new faculty arrive, this course will become integrated into the onboarding process and required for the new adjuncts. In the analysis phase, we discovered several needs for the project that are really driving the development of this training. First of all, the Office of Professional Studies is transitioning from hybrid and blended courses to fully online. Secondly, there are goals for future expansion as the program continues to grow. And finally, the adjuncts, many of them lack training in adult education methods, especially in the instructional techniques. The audience analysis shows a gender balanced group that's about 43 years old. The important thing that we really uncovered in the demographic and audience analysis was the amount of educational experience by our adjuncts. Only 17% have a background in education or any training in educating adult learners. And this is a problem that is a risk for us, and we'll have to overcome it. They may feel that they don't need this course or even resent the course, feeling that it's some type of punitive measure. But reassuring them that it is not punitive and tapping into the passion and the dream that they have to bring about change for these adult learners to help them to achieve success in their lives. An additional risk that we will face is the fact that challenge-based learning is just beginning to take root in higher education, and the research is limited. The model is considered a 21st century outgrowth of problem-based and experiential learning. And there is a large body of research available that points to the effectiveness of both strategies in adult education. Most importantly, the Office of Professional Studies is committed to using cutting-edge methods. They're not afraid to try something that doesn't have the years and years of research behind it. And so I think this will be a very important factor to point out to all the adjunct instructors as we begin this training module. The course objectives are 1. Define challenge-based learning. 2. Identify the key elements in this challenge-based learning process. And 3. Summarize the benefits of using challenge-based learning with adult learners. Design phase, we identified that prerequisite knowledge is needed, and that's a basic knowledge of adult learning theory. A pilot was scheduled to launch in June, with a final go live of the finished product in the fall of 2019. In the design phase, a detailed storyboard was developed, which you can see a screenshot of that on the screen now. I used this storyboard as the basic outline and blueprint for developing the Captivate module. The next step in the development phase was creating a 15-minute e-learning module in Adobe Captivate. An example is shown on the screen of the Start page, which upon clicking, you meet Jack, our e-learning host. Right now, this just some text and animations. There will be some narration that is added next week before the pilot is due. In the What is Challenge-Based Learning section, the learner can click on the icons to discover more about the benefits that are contained within the challenge-based learning instructional model. The first assessment is in section 1. It's a review of traditional and challenge-based learning practices. It's a simple drag and drop. As you can see, I drag the traditional practices into the traditional box and the challenge-based practices into the challenge box and submit. Then I get a success message letting me know that I got everything correct. It's important in the course that the instructors connect challenge-based learning to the benefit that it has for the adult learners. To accomplish this, I've incorporated a little click and reveal that presents a story of each of the adult learners listed as well as their learning needs or their learning goals. So if I click on Larry, then Larry's learning needs are displayed as well as a little bit about Larry. Finally, a summative knowledge check is included at the end of the module. If we click continue, you'll see that the first question is a true-false that's based upon a story. Essentially, this instructor is following steps to implement a challenge-based learning module, and the learner has to identify whether he took the correct steps. In this instant, the steps are correct, and so we submit, and we'll move on to the next question. There is a post-course survey that will gauge the effectiveness of the training itself, where the learner is asked if it was engaging, if they received deeper insight on the topic, if it was organized in a way that helped them learn, and if the media used enhanced their learning. In order to stimulate interest and to provide a little bit of creative elements within the course as well as accentuate other points, I created an animated explainer video in Vyond and divided it into 4 sections. Here's the introductory section of that video.
And that's how media creates reality. Are there any questions?
So, what do you think went wrong? Was this an engaging lesson? Are the adult learners actively participating? Thinking critically? As educators, we know the importance of what we are teaching. But, the students may not necessarily be aware of this. It's up to us to teach them how to do something, and why it's important. So, how do we do this? How do we motivate adult learners to realize that what we teach them will be useful to them? How do we inspire them to think outside the box and solve problems creatively? How can we show adult learners that what they are learning has value and meaning, can be applied to the real world, and can be engaging to learn? We can do this using a method called challenge-based learning, or CBL.
An implementation will host the course in Samford's LMS, which is Canvas, and it will be housed specifically on the Samford Online Adjunct Resources site known as SOAR. The enrollment will be through the department head, and we'll also add a self-enroll option for any instructors who'd like to retake the course. Evaluations will include the Canvas analytics from the course itself, the Likert survey that you saw at the end of the e-learning module. We'll conduct interviews with the instructors, as well as in the future, our goal is to recruit mentors who work alongside and evaluate through observation. We'll also use the survey results and the satisfaction post-course satisfaction surveys from the students and focus groups from students as well to evaluate the effectiveness not only of the course itself, but then the implementation part as the instructors try out the new learning or an instructional technique. In the proposal, I'd like to discuss why I chose this topic. There's several reasons. The biggest being, one, I'm an adult learner and an adult learning degree program, as well as having completed my bachelor's degree in Samford's professional studies program. So I know firsthand the importance of having instructors who are able to teach using methods that connect with adult learners. Secondly, I work as an instructional designer for this department and interact closely with not only the instructors, but with the students as well, so I can see both sides of this issue. And finally, I know the passion that our department has for the adult students that they serve, and I share in that passion. I want to be a part of helping our adjuncts be the best that they can be as they teach and lead and create life change for the adult learners. John Dewey said, "Education is not an affair of telling and being told, but an active and constructive process." That really sums up why I chose this topic and why I work in adult education as an instructional designer and even as an adjunct instructor at Samford's OPS department. Thank you for allowing me to share this design plan with you, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.